Alright guys, so we're back today, and today, as you guys see behind me, there's me and a big buck. And I'm going to be telling you the story on how I killed my buck this year. It's a pretty fun story to tell. I mean, not really, but I just wanted you guys to hear it. I know, like, I hadn't started YouTube, or I would have filmed everything of me hunting, and then would have been some pretty good videos just sitting out there. I had only went hunting one day, though, to kill this. So that's pretty cool too. But let's start off talking about, so at the beginning of this hunting season, we started off putting out, like, I think it was at the beginning of fall, we started putting out corn. I think yeah. At the beginning of fall or somewhere in there, we started putting out corn, and stuff like that, and just to see if the deer would start coming in. And we hadn't really seen anything big. We had seen some small, like 6-pointers and some spikes and stuff like that, but nothing really big. And so one day we went up there to check the trail cameras that we had set up, and we checked mine that I had, and it looked like it had quite a few deer on it. So we decided to bring it home to get the card out of it, to put it on something bigger to where we can actually see if we had anything pretty good. And so we're just scrolling through, and I was showing my dad some pictures of some 6-pointers and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, he takes it from me, and he starts scrolling on through, and I walk away for a few minutes, and he goes, "Big buck." And I come right back over, and I take it from him, and I start looking, and there's an 8-point buck. It is not quite as big as this one up here on the screen, but it was big. Just take it. Well, no, it was bigger than that one up there on the screen. I don't know what I'm saying, but the rack was wider than it. It was a little bit bigger, and it was just a really good all-around buck. And so yeah, it was the nicest one we'd had yet. And then, so we go back up there, we keep putting corn out, we really don't see nothing for a while, and then we start seeing some 6-pointers come back in, we see some turkeys, and then all of a sudden we seen that guy. He came down, I think he was with some does one day, and he just kept coming back. He came back about 3 days in a row, skipped a few days, and then came back a few times. And so yeah, so I kind of got excited. And then right when hunting season started, everything quit. Like, nothing started coming around. I mean, we had a few doe come around, I think a few 6-pointers, but that guy or the big one never came around again. And so that kind of worried me. My dad had been hunting because I had been in school still, and he had hunted about 2 days, I think. I think it's a Monday and a Wednesday. And then he said all he seen was some does, and so I was pretty happy. And then all of a sudden, we thought we were going to end up going this Saturday, and he gets the flu. And that really hurts us because then we can't go out, I didn't think. And I was supposed to have some basketball games that day. My Kentucky Wildcats were playing the Georgia Bulldogs. We had tickets that game. We ended up selling them. But it ended up working out. We went up there that day. Like I said, we had not had no pictures in a while on our camera. And I was kind of like, well, we're just going to come up here and hopefully we can see a doe and maybe just call it a 6-pointer, because my dad was really wanting that big buck. And I was like, well, that big buck might not come today. If he comes, I'll shoot it. I'll shoot either of them. But, so, yeah, whatever comes first, I'll shoot it, except for a doe. And so, yeah, so we were just sitting there waiting. And we got there about an hour. And we'd been sitting there for about an hour. And me and my papa are just looking at each other going, well, it might end up being a good day. I mean, we didn't really know what to think. I'm trying to slow it down some because I'm going really fast with this story. And so, yeah. So, all of a sudden, we sit there. And my papa's sitting there going, well, when was the last time you guys had pictures on the cameras? And I'm sitting there going, it has been a long time since we did. And so he's like, I'm like, well, you think it's time for us to maybe hit the call? And he's like, well, why not? This right here is the call we used. It is a mating call. I'll go ahead and give you guys a sound. That right there is what we did. We waited 2 minutes right there. And all of a sudden, it sounded like something fell out of a tree and came bursting down the hill. That we were, like, there was a hill in front of us, and we were sitting right here in our blind. So, it comes down that hill fast. And my papa's sitting there going, get ready. That is a buck coming down there as fast as it came. And so, yeah. So we were just sitting there, and I was shaking. I mean, like, thinking about that thing about to come down here, and I got the chance to kill it. That was pretty exciting. I was like, is this going to be a 6? Is it going to be an 8? I got no clue, man. Is it going to be the biggest one we've ever had? Is it going to be one we haven't seen on the camera? So I just didn't know what to think right there. And then all of a sudden it comes out. And it comes and starts looking around. It's just looking around everywhere it can see. And it starts walking straight towards us. And I thought it was going to come right into the blind. Literally. I thought it was going to walk right into the stinking blind. But all of a sudden, my papa goes, you ready? And I'm like, yeah. And he grunts and gets us to stop. And it's just sitting there sideways. Because it's like, it was looking everywhere, just turning around and doing stuff. And he stops, and all of a sudden, I pull that trigger. And man alive, like I said, I didn't know if this was a 6 or an 8. I was hoping I would kill it. It was almost a perfect shot on it. It was a very good shot. And we waited about 10 minutes, and I sat there messaging Dad, because Dad had the flu. And I'm like, big buck down. And, well, I'm like, big buck shot. And he's like, is it down? I'm like, we don't know yet. I was hoping it was down. And so we get out of the blind. About 10 minutes later, we start walking. My papa's trying to find the blood trail. I'm just running to where I saw it last, trying to see. And he's like, shh, just in case it was still alive, sitting there staring at us and listening to us. He didn't want me to run it off. And so I'm walking over there. And I'm looking around, and there's a big tree right through here. And all of a sudden, I look up on that tree that's laid down on the hill, and right there is a big buck. And I still don't know what size it is. I don't know if it's a 6 or an 8. It's a big buck, though. I know that. And so I walk up there, and I start counting its things, and I'm like, this is the 8-pointer. This is that one we seen. Not the big one, but the other one that is big, too. And so I was like, yes. And so me and my papa drag it down the hill. And my dad's with the flu. And he's like, you guys need me to come down there and help you out? And we're like, no. But we ended up having to get the rhino down there. That thing was heavy, dude. It was so crazy. But yeah, that was awesome getting to kill that buck, guys. And it was really fun doing that. Man, it was a big deer. It was a very big deer. And so, yeah, so on the, I'd say when you guys clicked on this video, you see me standing there with it, and you probably assumed a little bit. So, yeah, guys, that was just really fun. We went and gutted it out, and, yeah, so it is getting, the meat's already been processed, and the head is getting done right now, and when I get that thing in, I will give you guys an update and show you where we are hanging it and putting it at. Well, alright, guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Alright, see ya.